Do you want to adapt to whatever your opponent throws out, with versatility so abundant that you can have the upper hand no matter what they do? Then Emerald Ink is what you should adjust your focus to. Welcome, fellow rebels. Today we are going to take a look at the reactive nature of the Emerald cards in Disney's Lorcana. Now we're going to start off with the text that Disney put up on the Lorcana website for the Emerald Ink. Emerald glimmers are flexible, gifted with the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. They are never caught off guard. Quick thinking, but not necessarily book smart, they navigate their environment, whether physical or social, natural or artificial, with ease. So as you can probably tell from the text there, Emerald cards are really good at reacting to what the other player is doing. And to show that, we have 3 specific points that we're going to talk about. The first one is that they are able to harm opponents' challengers. So the first card to show this off is the Not All There Cheshire Cat. Now you can see with Cheshire Cat here, he's got 0 strength there, so, you know, essentially you're never going to want to challenge with this guy. He's not going to deal any damage. But what makes him useful is his ability to lose something. When this character is challenged and banished, you can banish the challenging character. So let's say we have, okay, our opponent has a letting down her hair Rapunzel here. And my Cheshire Cat I had just quested for 2 lore, which, you know, is a pretty big amount in this game. For some cards, they want to take care of him and they know, okay, we're not going to get any damage. Well, if that Rapunzel were to exert and challenge, and with her 5 strength there, kill this Cheshire Cat, his ability would cause that Rapunzel to also get banished as well. So they'd have to get rid of her just like I get rid of my Cheshire Cat. Now, the one downside of the Cheshire Cat there is with cards such as Fire Your Cannons, you can take him out, so that way you don't have to banish your other characters. Which is why there is a similar card called Temperamental Emperor Cusco. That is very useful. Now, he gives you 3 lore, which is quite a bit, but the special thing about him here is his ability Ward. Opponents can't choose this character except a challenge. So when he's in play, his ability No Tachi, which, you know, I've seen Emperor's New Groove so many times, one of my favorite Disney movies. I've wanted this card for quite a while. I finally was able to get it. With its ability, essentially, when this character is challenged and banished, you may banish the challenging character. So, with his ward, you can't target him with other abilities like you can the Cheshire Cat. You gotta challenge him. Which means, you gotta take this Rapunzel, challenge him, and they both get banished. That's the utility there of Cusco specifically, a very highly sought after card. Now, the second point is that Emerald cards can affect other cards when they're challenged. So, first example we have here is the charming rogue Flyn Rider from Tangled. Now, you know, he might not look too strong, only 1 strength, 2 willpower, but with his ability, here comes the Smolder. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player chooses and discards a card. Which means that, not even killed. If you challenge with somebody that's only dealing 1 damage, and you don't kill the Flyn Rider, the person that challenged has to choose one of their cards that is in their hand and discard it. So, you know, getting rid of this guy with challenges can be quite annoying. Very similar, we have here the Gracious Host Mad Hatter. Now, he's a pretty good card, costs 5, but he gives you 3 lore and has 4 willpower. And his ability is, whenever this character is challenged, you may draw a card. So, whereas Flyn Rider allows you to have your opponent choose and discard a card, Mad Hatter's pretty good because you can draw a card. So, with his 4 willpower, you need somebody that can deal 4 more damage on 1 turn to take him out. But even if he gets banished, for that 1 attack alone, you can draw a card, which is pretty good. And, while he's not dead, you can quest him every turn, give yourself 3 lore there. So, quite useful. You'll see some Gracious Host Mad Hatters in quite a few Emerald decks. Now, the third point that we're going to talk about is how Emerald cards are able to disrupt opponents. So the first card we have here is the On the Job Genie. Now, this is a cool little piece of artwork. I think one of my favorite ones for the Genie cards that are in the game. He has the evasive ability, which is pretty useful, because that means, you know, you can only challenge him if they also have evasive, or they target him with other cards, or he can attack other cards that have the evasive ability. But his ability Disappear is when you play this character, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. So, for instance here, I got like our Maleficent, and let's say like a Dr. Facilio or something here. So, it just says you may return chosen character to their player's hand. So, if it's the opponent you want to choose, maybe if they have like an opposing Dr. Facilier, who's kind of being rather quite annoying, you want to do a lot more challenging this turn to banish the opponent's cards, you could play this card, make the opponent have to put the Dr. Facilier back in their hand, and then you can freely banish other characters without having to worry about them getting those cards back in their hand as well. However, you could also say, oh, this Maleficent, you know, you have tons of ink, you can play her. When you play this card, you could put her back into your hand, and then play her and be able to draw another card. So it kind of works either for your opponents or for yourself, depending on the specific card you have there. Now, another card that will also help you disrupt your opponents is Sudden Chill. Now, first I was a little confused, since it's a song, you know, why don't they just call it Cruella de Vil? But I guess they might have thought that would be a little confusing, since that's also the name of a character in the game. So to keep things clear, they did Sudden Chill, but, you know, great piece of artwork there. It's a song, costs 2, so a character that's 2 or higher, like Genie here, you could exert to play this card for free without having to use up any ink. But each opponent chooses and discards a card. So if you're playing in just a 2-player game, yeah, that opponent will have to choose and discard a card. But if you're playing like a 3 or 4-player game, every single one of your opponents has to discard a card. Now, it does say chooses. I don't believe there's any cards in the game that makes them have to blindly discard a card, or you get to choose it. But it's still quite useful, especially if people, even later in the game, they have very few cards in their hand, and they're very useful to them, be quite damaging. So, that's everything you will need to know about the Emerald ink in Lorcana. If you're looking for more videos on Lorcana, check out the playlist or video here. Till next time, have fun and game on.